Hi everybody, welcome back to Cat's Book Nook. Today is Sunday, April 29th. This is the last weekly wrap-up video for this month. Yay! Made it through April, made it through a reading slump, and broke through a almost reading slump this weekend. So, it's been a long weekend. It's been a long week. It's been a long month. This week I got through 6 books. A handy dandy notebook. Last weekend I went up to last week was Roseburg, Oregon. This is what happens when you do road trips on the weekends. You forget where you've been. Stopped at the comic book store, picked up Motor Girl by Terry Moore. Finished it this week. Not my favorite Terry Moore book, but definitely really good. I thought it handled the issue of hallucination, PTSD for military personnel fairly well. So I like this one. I also finished Prisoner of Azkaban, number 3. This was the 3rd book I finished this weekend. It doesn't have the same allure that it used to. This used to be my favorite Harry Potter book. I think because I pushed myself through it, I didn't particularly care for it as much as I normally do. Mostly because, and I'll get to the book in a second, because I want to talk about this book. This book was great. This book had to be one of the better books that I read this week. Hunting Prince Dracula by Kerri Maniscalco. I picked up her Stalking Jack the Ripper book while I was in Portland, I say early March, and I finally read it late March, early April. Really, really good book. It's got all the signs of a great mystery, historical. She did her research for this book. Did not expect the ending to be what it was. I was really thinking it was going to be somebody else. And just like in Stalking Jack the Ripper, she thinks it's her father. Sorry, spoiler alert. She thinks it's one person and it turns out to be somebody else. And then in this book, it's the same thing. She thinks that it's somebody. She thinks that it was one person, and then the entire plot twist at the end of, I want to say like the last 30, 40 pages, it's somebody that wasn't even part of the story for that long. It was a really good book. Highly recommend Kerri. If you're looking for a good mystery with historical factors, please pick her up. She is, gonna be an auto-buy author for me. So, there's that. The books that I read this week that I didn't particularly care for. I don't really know where to start, you guys. So, picked up Dear Martin. For what it was, Dear Martin was a very eye-opening book. I don't even have a picture of it. Or Raven Boys. For what it was, Dear Martin was really good. It had me screaming at the audiobook and at his mother and at the people that were around him and at him for a little bit. But for what it was very well written. It brought up points that The Hate You Give didn't bring up. And The Hate You Give was from a female perspective. And Dear Martin was from a male perspective. And it's not fair to compare the two. It's really not. But they were great, current. I almost don't want to call them fiction because I know people who have been through certain situations like that. So I almost want to call them nonfiction just because people I know have gone through similar situations. Not to the point of, oh, maybe they actually did see somebody die, depending on who it is and where they were. But yeah, so Dear Martin was good. Raven Boys was meh. Maggie Steifvater is not necessarily an author that I particularly care for, but she's on my Goodreads to be read shelf, and I really just want to finish the series out because I am kind of interested to see what happens with Blue and who she ends up in a relationship with. I haven't looked at the spoilers for the other 3 books in that series, so I don't know. And then I guess I need to do a popular opinion book tag or book review, because this next book is, I hated this book. Hated it. I don't like the last 50 pages of it. It's funny. I liked the last 50 pages of it. I didn't like Molly. I didn't like the main character. I thought she was... Okay. So, it's obvious that I'm fat. I don't think anybody that watches my channel doesn't already know that. I'm fat. I grew up as a fat kid. Sorry. I was a fat kid. I didn't put myself out there for a whole lot of different reasons. So, just... This book with Dumpling. I don't like books that fat is the only thing the characters are. I don't... Being fat is not who I am. It is my appearance. Reading books like this that make it seem like that is all the main character sees themselves as pisses me off to no end. So this book almost got thrown across the room yesterday. The last 50 pages are the only thing that saved this book for me from being a 1 or a 2 star. I don't give very many 1 or 2 stars. Yeah. Simon versus the Homo Sapien Agenda. Loved it. It was great. That one, I don't want to burn very many books. That was one of them. So, I apologize if you guys liked it. I didn't. So, only book that helped to get me through the 24 and 48 hour readathon that I set up for this weekend, Neil Gaiman and American Gods. So, currently reading. I have maybe 6.5 hours left in this audiobook. Very well recorded. I love it. It's great. 13 hours of Neil Gaiman and a full cast production of American Gods has gotten me through yesterday evening when I didn't want to pick up another book and I really just wanted to walk away from everything and just stop it, to I finished it and I'm having a good day. I'm also currently listening to Annihilation, which I know I've got a picture of somewhere. There we go. Got maybe about 5 hours left in this audiobook. It's not that long, and it's not that long in physical form either. But I didn't finish it this weekend just because I didn't. It's not bad. It's definitely that sci-fi kind of fantasy. I think I'm gonna have to restart it just to go back and remember what all's actually going on. So those are 2 books that I'm really hoping to finish tomorrow or Tuesday. New books. Sorry. Talking about the upside of Unrequited just totally yeah. Anyway. So, new books this week. An Unkindness of Magicians by Kat Howard. I don't know anything about this book. It was on my Overdrive wish list. Neil Gaiman had really great things to say about this, so I love him as an author. He's another auto-buy, so we'll see how An Unkindness of Magician goes. I also got the 3rd book in the Dresden Files by Grave Peril by Jim Butcher. I haven't started this one yet. This one's kind of longer than what his normal books are. It's 12 hours long. And then I also got the audio version of Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. So this version is going back home this week because I don't want to take all of these books in my car. So with that, a book that I DNF'd, I had one book this week. The Good Side of Memory by Marty Matthews. Very short book, but it read like a report. And it wasn't a very detailed outline report. It was I'm going to talk about this, and then I'm going to jump over and talk about this, and then I'm going to jump over and talk about this particular topic, because it goes with everything else. And yeah, I DNF'd it at 25%, and it was an ebook. So there you go. But with that, that is my weekly wrap-up video for this week. Hope you guys are having a wonderful week. Gonna go record a couple more videos, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.